Welcome back to Coast Vue. It's been a pleasure doing this show. I have to tell you that the conversations we have are always real. I think they're important to me. We learn a lot about our guests. They are so articulate, so incredibly smart. They love this community. They're working so hard. And Brandon Elliott, the CEO of Elliott Homes, that conversation we just had, what a powerful conversation. If you missed it, you should go to the SuperTalk Mississippi Facebook page or the SuperTalk Gulf Coast Facebook page. Go to your favorite podcast and call up Brandon Elliott and listen to how he talked about the opportunity that we have here in coastal Mississippi as it relates to attracting people to relocate here. Of course, Ashley Edwards and I from the Business Council have talked about this many times. And when I'm talking to mayors about this or others, everyone in this community, all the key folks in this community who are working overtime in this area are really working really hard to really refine what this opportunity looks like and get us moving forward. So that conversation with Brandon was really important. And I will continue to talk about that's probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest opportunity we have currently. I love the fact that they're talking about trying to increase the population here in coastal Mississippi by 50,000 by the year 2027. Sounds ambitious, but frankly, it could be so much more than that when you look at what's happening in other communities like Austin, for example. Great opportunity. Hey, listen, when people ask me about Coast Vue, coming out of retirement to do Coast Vue, I often say that I would not have done it except unless the situation were perfect. I've got Cal Curley, who I've talked about so many times. He's just an absolute gem to work with. Cammie Martin, who is helping. She's doing all kinds of important work for Mississippi, SuperTalk Mississippi Media, but she also supports me with guests and helping with content, et cetera. She's just been terrific to work with. So that when I get on the show, all I can do is just kind of focus on having great conversations. There's a great team here in coastal Mississippi led by Kenny Vest, the market manager. And, he's one of the reasons why I'm here. And that's why I like to invite him back every now and then to just check in with him and see how things are going. And without any further ado, let me just say good morning to my friend Kenny Vest. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Ricky. Great to be here. And we're lucky to have you. I mean, this show, when we first met, to where it is now, it has just exploded, especially in the business community. Everybody talks about, Coast Vue, Ricky Mathews. So you're doing an exceptional job.
Yeah. Great job. What's what's important to me. I've had my 15 minutes of fame more than once along my career. Yeah. This show to me, man, is just as I said to you 100 times before, but as long as I can do Coast Vue and feel like I'm making a difference, I'll continue to do it. If I don't feel like I'm making a difference, man, I'm not just interested in doing a morning show that's just filling some spots and we're having some conversations and we move on. I want to talk about things that are going to make a difference in this community strategically and otherwise. I want to teach people how to be better leaders. And that's where we are. And the feedback we're getting has been extraordinary. And, people are, it's humbling. They're paying attention. I appreciate it. When I get done doing this show, I'm walking out this door here out of my studio at the house and I'm going to spend time with my grandkids. And that's what I do. And I'm fishing and hunting and doing all the things in life. But this has been a gift to me to be able to use what I've learned from being publisher at numerous communities and having responsibilities for newspapers across 5 states. What I learned during that and what I learned after Hurricane Katrina, I'm able to use doing this show. And I pray that it's making a difference. I believe it is.
No doubt it is. Everything you just said is 100% accurate. And it's, it's great to have you part of the team and your guidance, some of our business stuff. So it's a great partnership.
Yeah, it was good. I had the opportunity to have lunch a few days ago, actually, with Kenny and James Wynn, who is the vice president for digital media for SuperTalk Mississippi Media. He works out of the coast, but he has responsibilities across the state. And I tell you, it's awesome to spend time with you guys because you are, of course, James knew the radio business as well. And you have had so much success in the work that you've done in the radio industry. And I've said this to you 100 times, but I'll say it again. that my biggest surprise is that terrestrial radio that you get over your car or over a radio, not satellite radio, that it's really doing well. I read some numbers that were distributed this morning about certain age groups and how the radio industry, how our radio stations in particular are doing compared to others, and really compared to ourselves. And looking out back over the years, that radio is actually holding its own really well. And when you add the digital capabilities to that, not only in terms of how we get our show distributed through Facebook or YouTube or the podcast or whatever, but when you think about the work that we're doing on the digital media advertising side, helping advertisers combine this sort of best-in-class approach to radio with this really incredible capability from a digital point of view, we're hitting on a lot of cylinders. And when I sit down with you and James and have a conversation about where the company is today, it's exciting. It's exciting to see the size of customers that we're bringing in and their commitment to this company and the partners that we have to work with on the digital side. This is an exciting time for SuperTalk Mississippi Media, isn't it?
It sure is. And we're having a lot of fun with it. James, personality, super fun guy, and the vibe here in the building's upbeat. We have fun, but yeah, we're, full service company, full digital company, can do anything digitally from here and really all over the country. But back to radio is still very strong. You battled satellite back in the day and they said radio would go away. Now it's streaming services. And of course, they have their place and then they have their people that only do that. But radio in this market is extremely powerful, and it's a great way to get the word out. We, prime example, we did something at Margaritaville on Saturday, and you have over 200 people show up from just hearing it on the radio. So radio's strong here.
It is. And as you know, I have the latter part of my career I spent working in specifically digital media, growing significant staffs around advertising and digital platforms that help customers be successful. And I had the opportunity to do that with one of the strongest companies in the United States, in Advanced Condé Nast. And the capabilities they built were truly incredible. So it's with that mindset that I evaluate what we're doing here, and what we're doing here is best in class. And the partners that you guys have cobbled together have been incredible. And the proof's really in the pudding. At the end of the day, you look at the work that James is doing for some very significant customers of all sizes and all types of customers. It's incredible what we're able to do and deliver. And my message to people who may be listening to this, that if you're doing digital business and it's a little bit confusing to you, or maybe you're not sure if you're getting success and you're not sure when you look at your dashboards that it's doing what you want it to do, you really kind of owe it yourself to reach out to SuperTalk Mississippi Media, and in particular James Wynn, and let him do an assessment of your situation. Because look, this company is on the cutting edge. And when you combine what they're doing with the digital side with what you guys are doing on the radio side, it's a powerful combination. The ability to turn on a dime with radio with immediate promotion and be able to do branding and all the things that you guys are able to do, it's quite amazing to me. Hey, let's remind people the radio stations that are part of the Mississippi Gulf Coast ownership group here.
Okay. Well, this one's SuperTalk 103.1. We have 105.9 The Monkeys, top 40 station, been here for over 20 years. G96.7 is a throwback station that's thriving right now, doing extremely well. We just signed back on Bob 106.3, which is it's just all hits from 70s, 80s, 90s, and into the 2000s. And then we have CPR, which is 97.9 WCPR. It's been on the air, will be 27 years coming up in September. So that's what we talked about. So you got the radio side. One of the reasons why radio has been successful here locally is that while other radio stations have moved to more of a centralized approach where they're being bought up by these big conglomerates, the key to success for SuperTalk Mississippi Media has been keep it local. Local news, statewide news, have news teams literally focused on that. Local personalities. We spent the whole show talking about
the change recently to CPR to create your own morning show and how well that has gone. Are you still thrilled with how that's going?
I do. Yeah. There's, they came together and there's such excitement and, you gauge it until a ratings period comes out with the data, but you gauge the feel for the show on the listener response. And that is just overwhelming. They were out at the event in Margaritaville that I was talking about previously, and people were asking for their autograph and pictures. So I think we're really on to something with the new CPR morning show.
Well, talk about for people who have not heard this part of the conversation, these three unique personalities you guys brought together. I've listened. I love they sound like a national show, but it's a local show. That's what's so cool about it. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Kenny Vest, who's the market manager for SuperTalk Mississippi Media, Gulf Coast. We'll see you after this break. Welcome back to Coast Vue. I have my friend Kenny Vest, who's the market manager for SuperTalk Mississippi Media, Gulf Coast, with me today, and we're just catching up and bringing you up to speed on all the exciting stuff that's happening within the company that I chose to come to work for a couple of years ago. I'm glad I did. I got just such a great team of people. The culture of the company is terrific. It's just been a real bright spot. So I appreciate you joining me and being willing to come in and give me these updates.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's great having you. And I want to congratulate you on the One Coast Awards, being the keynote speaker for the 20th anniversary. I heard a lot about it. I wasn't able to attend, but I saw a lot of video, and you're in your element. Congratulations.
Well, I appreciate it. And what was good about it, I mean, obviously we were celebrating 20th year. I had the pleasure of starting those awards when I was at the Sun Hero back in 2002. And along the way, they passed them over to the chambers. They became the One Coast Awards. So it was really celebrating the 20th year of the awards. I challenged a group, and I had a terrific video that Tim Wall over in Pascagoula helped me. He's in the media business, helped me put together, and using snippets from Coast Vue. In fact, I plan to share that during a segment next week. Like some really incredible leaders that have been on Coast Vue, and we had a chance to celebrate them, and also challenge the group. Some common themes that I've learned doing this show. So it was a pleasure. And I like the fact that it put Coast Vue right in the center of a lot of those conversations. And I think it's good. It's good for the show. It's good for our company. And I appreciate you mentioning that.
Yeah, no problem. And I saw the video you're talking about. It's great, man. It's put together really well. It just shows the variety of guests you've had over your time on the show. So it's really good.
Yeah, over 600 conversations that Kyle and I have been involved in. It's been pretty amazing. Oh. So let's shift gears, though. I want to come back to CPR for a minute. I mentioned that this cool mix of personalities you have on WCPR. One of the most successful sort of that format in the country, right here in coastal Mississippi. Why do you think? Remind people who may have heard this before, but maybe some people haven't heard it at all, about this mix of personalities and why you think it's working so well.
Well, we have three people in the building. Two of them are major market air talents, have been in huge markets. They came here, and a lot of people, when they come here, they don't leave. So they've been here a long time. And then we had a stand-up comedian in the building named Dan Saw. So they would joke around in the hallway. We got to a position where, we wanted to make a change in the morning show to be local. And so we put Lucas, who's on 105.9 and the program director there. Riley Knight was already on CPR, and she has a huge following. And then we put Dan together as the stand-up comic who already worked here. And we tested a bunch of shows towards the end of last year just to see if there's chemistry. You could tell there was chemistry literally from the first mock-up show, and it's just gotten better and better and better. It gets better every day. But you're right. You mentioned it sounds like it's a syndicated show. In fact, I have to remind them, people may think you're in New York or stay local, and they do. And it's we're extremely happy with the start of that show.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool. But again, that's one of the reasons why the radio stations continue to do well, is that you've been focused on local. And this particular radio show radio station, was I think a religious radio station at one point. Is that right?
Well, when we came over from New Orleans, it was a country station called US 98. SuperTalk was a religious station. So we flipped it from country to rock.
Yeah, so Steve's vision, though, of SuperTalk was very significant, and he was really, really pushing to have something super local. And when we had these conversations early on, I mean, he waited, I don't know, almost 4 months, actually, for me to decide to do this. But he knew that if he could get me to do it, that he saw that it would be a good match. I had no idea myself, because I'd never done radio before. Had no idea how to do. I still don't know what there is to know about radio. What I know about is issues, and I'm passionate about coastal Mississippi, and I'm hoping that that's being conveyed. But I am really, really touched by Steve and Steve Davenport, who owns SuperTalk Mississippi Media, and Kim Dillon, who is the president. Their commitment to coastal Mississippi is truly remarkable, and the freedom they give me to do this show is just, I can't say enough good things about that. Hey, one of the other aspects of our company that's really done well, that we do events where, why not? I mean, if you have all these radio stations, why wouldn't you be involved in events like reestablishing CPR Fest, which we talked about recently? Kind of one of our neat little claims to fame these days is food truck events. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we have another one coming up downtown Gulfport with the city. It's the day before Father's Day. It's called the Ugly Tie Fest. So downtown will be, filled with food trucks, live music, lots to drink, lots to eat, stuff for the kids, and big family event. We're gonna have some big contests for dads on stage where they win cash prizes. It's just gonna be a fun Saturday before Father's Day, and it's called Ugly Tie.
That's awesome. I look forward to talking more about that actually as we get closer. So anyway, hey, listen, Kenny, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you, man. Thanks for your leadership.
All right, Ricky. Thank you, man.
You bet. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.